Did you know that improved questioning can actually straighten our managerial effectiveness? Most of us never thought about this, but actually I've discovered it when I started YouTubing, Instagramming, blogging and stuff like that. And I've discovered that actually this has been the core component that has led me where I am today, straightening my skills and gaining new ones. Now, giving this process some explicit thought might not only help us to become better managers and better leaders, but also will help others to improve their own skills. Please remember, asking questions is important to help us uncover challenges that we are facing and will definitely generate better solutions to solve those problems. We all have been at some point spending too much time and energy solving the first iteration of a challenge within the first idea that we have. But a good question can definitely create that famous aha moments which can lead us to innovation and to growth. And that is the core component of all our individual progress that we have or we don't have. It keeps us in a learning mode. Asking question keeps us in a learning mode rather than just a judgmental mode. In today's video, I'm answering the questions that you have asked me on my Instagram account, xcrew, where I regularly pop up that window and I'm asking you guys, ask any questions of your preference. So let's start. The first question that we're gonna talk and we're gonna elaborate is called when did Qatar Airways call its laid off crew as the vaccine is out. In the video where I spoke about COVID-19 and its political and economical implications, we spoke about this subject a lot. And as the vaccine is something that has happened and we still don't know what is the outcome of the same, we cannot expect that passengers will gain straight away back the trust that they have in the airlines. Yet we have to understand that there is a process, and experts out there are having different predictions when it comes to these questions. However, one thing that we can agree on, you as a viewer, me as an aviation management student, and I think what I have learned from the aviation experts that I'm in touch with every single day at my university, is that May and April is the time where we're gonna expect a bit more data and more information available on how the vaccination what are the results of the vaccination and how the process of gaining back the trust within the airlines, or will simply said people be flying again? Will they fly to Thailand, to Bali for leisure, for business? We're gonna see the increasement in the demand for flying, and therefore we're gonna know whether Qatar Airways, Emirates Airlines, or Etihad Airways will be calling their laid off crew, because it's just simply a question that many times in many of my videos I say not even the CEO can give you an answer, even if you ask this question. I have a mild motion sickness. Will I be able to overcome it during training if I get selected? An interesting question, and I don't want to take my husband's duty, because his job is to cure people, to help people. He's a medical doctor and a cardiologist by profession. So I believe that people who have been in the medical field and who are specialized in doing that should give you the right answer, because this question, or the answer of this question, as my understanding says, it requires an examination. Perhaps your general practitioner will examine your blood, will check out everything that your blood says, will take your history, any previous diseases and stuff like that, and then you will talk to your general practitioner who's going to guide you the best when it comes to any medical condition that is a concern of yours. There are a lot of medical conditions that candidates are asking me, and one thing I would like to emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, is do not ask ex-cabin crew about your medical condition, because your medical condition is something that can be viewed the best way by a medical practitioner or a doctor. In the best case scenario, I would go for a specialist, but as my understanding says, this type of question can be very well accessed by a doctor who's specialized in general practices. One question that I get quite often, it says lifestyle of a cabin crew, demerits of being cabin crew, and challenges of being cabin crew. In some of my videos, I believe in one video I spoke about the pros and cons of being a cabin crew and how I've dealt with the pros and cons of being cabin crew. It looks just exactly like this. And the lifestyle of a cabin crew, which is the first part of this question that you're asking me, differs from a person to a person. You will meet cabin crew, ex-cabin crew, current cabin crew, who will tell you very different stories because we all experience the job very differently. While we are all recruited, or we were all recruited under the same criteria, we have incorporated ourselves and our personalities into the lifestyle of a cabin crew in a different manner because we all have different personalities. Therefore, on the social media, you will meet cabin crew or ex-cabin crew with an extremely outgoing personality, beautiful pictures. They've been out in all the layovers. You can see they have not saved money when it comes to Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, and stuff like that. On the other hand, you will see another type of cabin crew with a very simple and modest social media network, however, with quite amount of investments back home, maybe in properties, maybe in businesses and stuff like that. Therefore, the lifestyle of a cabin crew, as my understanding says, is different from a person to a person. But I believe that your intelligence, your level of intelligence, your emotional intelligence, and your cultural intelligence will give you the answers that you want to know if you want to know what is the lifestyle of a cabin crew. In today's 21st century, in the year 2020, I believe that a simple answer cannot be given to this question. And I believe that you should look and research from all the cabin crew out there, including myself. I have been a cabin crew for Qatar Airways for 10 years. However, on my YouTube channel over here, you will see a bit of a different cabin crew perspective, or a bit of a different perception about the cabin crew job. Yet this question is a bit elaborated more, as I have said in the video called Pros and Cons of Being Qatar Airways Cabin Crew. A bit of a financial accounting in the questions. But is it right bank transaction money? How tax given currency exchange rate? Please make a video. I honestly have no knowledge about this, as I will have to research, sit down, but it's not the, how can I say, it's not the area where I'm specializing in. Yes, I'm learning financial accounting at the university. I'm learning the financial statements and why they're important. Also, we have a corporate finance, but on this question, I don't think I can give the proper answer. And I do believe that if you use Google as a research, you're going to find a lot of information. Last but not the least, I think that the banks have counters with informations and they can give you the right information on this question. But thank you for asking. Financial question. How to transfer money to home? I'm from India. I prefer HDFC Bank. Well, I do believe that if you research, as I have said in the previous question, if you research among the banks, there are a lot of advertisements on internet which says bank transfers money to India, to Sri Lanka, to Bangladesh, to Macedonia, to Germany, and all those advertisements, let's say Western Union or MoneyGram, there are so many out there, they can give you, or the people that they work there, they can give you the desired information. And I believe that Julia George, as an aviation management student, cannot give the proper answer to this. There is an interesting question again from the financial aspect, and it says, ma'am, I have a doubt which bank need to open, how to save taxes. I think that you can contact all the banks out there that are available. Sit down, do your research, and then you will see how you can save taxes, because I cannot give answer to this question. I'm terribly sorry. A very interesting question, which it says, how to remove head tan on face. And this reminds me of stories like people from Europe in general that are having my skin type. We want to be so much dark. We literally pay very expensive packages to go in solarium because we want to look tan, we want to have that dark skin, we drink pills to have dark skin. And on the other hand, people who have tan skin or tan or a darker skin, they want to be fair so much, and we're simply not happy with what we have. Unfortunately, to your question, I see an answer from a dermatologist. Dermatologist is a specialist, skin specialist. It's a doctor who can tell you the best way, because I don't want you to experiment with something that social media influencers will tell you out there and can be extremely dangerous for you. So perhaps, as I have said, contact a doctor. During the pandemic, I focused on healthy workouts and learning Chinese. That's good. I'm going to be very honest when I will answer this question. Besides learning Chinese during the pandemic, please focus on learning proper English. I'm not an English speaker, and English is not my mother language. That's what I wanted to say. So if you want to ask a question properly in English, you say, during the pandemic, I have been focused on healthy workouts and I've been learning Chinese. Is that okay or is that good enough? Because things are missing in order for the sentence to be grammatically correct. Learning Chinese is definitely excellent because it will enhance your language speaking skills. Healthy workouts? Absolutely yes. Remember the 4 components that I speak on my social media networks, which are called being healthy, being happy, being knowledgeable, and being strong. And I see over here a serious contribution, therefore, definitely a big yes to this. I'm 26 years now with plenty of PR and customer service experience. Will they focus on younger age? I sincerely want to know, why do you think that 26 years old is old? I've been employed in Qatar Airways with the age of 24, and currently, or before the pandemic happened, there was a candidate. Actually, a few of the candidates were recruited when they are 34 years old, as I have resigned also when I was 34 years old as a cabin crew. So to me, age will always be a number. And if you want to know a detailed answer on this question, I have a video which is called the age requirements for Qatar Airways. Please have a look because this will be very clear to you. It's not about the age, it's about the skills. We wear power lenses for cabin crew interview. If you have seen my video in which I speak about eyesight requirements for cabin crew or for Qatar Airways cabin crew, you might get a full idea of why I say to wear contact lenses rather than just taking an answer yes or no. I believe the core component in understanding why you should do certain thing in order to be successful and not to look funny is to understand why you should be doing that. Do not hesitate to have a look at my YouTube video on this subject. Simply want to thank you for all you share with us daily. Appreciate you so much. And this is the reason why I exist on social media, and this is the reason why I love being in touch with all of you. Thank you so much for this lovely comment. Graduation is not at all necessary of cabin crew job. What do you think we should do graduation or not? This is an interesting question. Now, this is a question that cannot be answered with just yes and no, and there is a little bit more to be elaborated and to speak about. A while ago, or quite some time ago, not all of us or not all the people were daring or were deciding to go for a university degree for the simple reason it was not so much accessible, it was more expensive, and there was a kind of selection process. I'm speaking more from the European point of view. In Europe in general, when people wanted to go to universities, there was a selection process which was very hard. Usually they were required to have high grades in their high schools before they enroll themselves into university. Therefore, you know already from the start who will go to university, and those one with the lower grades will not go to university. However, today in 2020, the story has been changed slightly, or if not so much. What do I mean when I say this? Now everyone can go to university. We have state-owned universities, we have private universities. State-owned universities still in most of the countries are having those selection processes because they're state-owned and they're so much financed by the state. It's a different story from a country to a country, and I wouldn't elaborate more on that because there are thousands of universities out there. But what is good about this is that everyone has a reputation, and that reputation is very well known over here on the internet. Do not hesitate to research. Now you are asking me, should you go for graduation or not, and what should you choose? How will I know what is your motivation and what do you want to achieve in life? If you have no idea of what do you want to graduate or what do you want to study, then perhaps for you this is the right way to search and research what do you want to be in your life. Where do you see yourself in 10, 20 years from now on? This is where the decision for graduation comes from. I will give a small example, and I don't want anyone to be underestimated when I say this, but if you see yourself as a person who works or who doesn't work, who is at home, who has children, who's a fully dedicated mom, you might come to a decision and say, hey, I don't want to go for graduation. But on the other hand, you will also see moms of 3, 4, and 5 children having even 2 university degrees. It's all depend from a person to a person, but the motivation cannot be given by me. Maybe I can inspire you if you see me and say, wow, Julia is studying aviation management, master studies, or a bachelor degree in criminology, or I don't know, another person has become an expert in human resource. You might find that area interesting for you, yet nobody can tell you study this, study that, because even if you start what I'm going to tell you, your motivation, you have to find it within yourself. How simple woman could be so amazing and kind like Miss Julia George. Daria, you are just amazing. Thank you so much for this lovely comment. No wonder we are both born on 1st of October. Hello, Julia ma'am. Does the Spicejet Airlines is hiring for cabin crew recently? This question I have researched a little bit, and I went on the website of Spicejet to see whether there are any vacancies. At the moment that I'm filming this video, on the career part of the airline called Spicejet, I have not seen any vacancies that have been there and that they are recruiting their staff. I'm going to connect this to my knowledge and my understanding that currently the airlines, including the airlines in India, have not come to a point to have their 100% operations. There are rumors circling around that airlines in India have come to a point where they have gained 80% of their operation back. Yet remember, even if it's 80% of the operation back, we need to look beyond the 100%, because that is how the airlines will be getting revenue. I have been talking about revenue a lot, but you have to also understand and know that from an aviation management point of view, is revenue actually what pays off the salary of the staff. And also don't forget the redundant staff. They are the ones who should be back first before they recruit new ones. Now the policies of some airlines have changed slightly, and I have come to know that airlines in India have decided that they're going to recruit new staff over the laid off staff in case the laid off staff will not accept to work for a lower salary. Yet what I'm sharing with you over here from my point of view is a rumor, because an official document has not been announced out there. You get a lot of people, a lot of ex-cabin crew talking on this subject. But my sincere advice to you all is to please refrain from those talks. Get the website of the airline that you want to apply for as a source of information. That is where you're going to find the truthful information about this. I want to know about your skincare routine. And I think on my Instagram account, which is here, I have quite a few videos where I talk about my skincare routine. And in fact, in my YouTube channel, there are a couple of videos about my skincare routine and what I do. One of them is in Macedonian, but you can actually just mute it and follow what I do, how I remove the makeup, what do I put on my face. But overall, it's very, very simple. There is a very interesting question that is coming, and I'm going to stick to this question for some time. It says, there are so many pages on Instagram who share numerous info apart from vacancies, so should we trust them? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of pages on the Instagram account. There are a lot of pages on the social media networks in general, which are under different names. Aviation careers, aviation memes. You will see aviation careers with one score, with underscore, with a dot, with 1, 2, 3, and very, very different. Usually behind those pages is a person that neither you or I, we know who's that person. And very often you will see these pages commenting on people's accounts. And lately I have been challenged with certain pages and certain accounts like that, where I literally have a bit been nervous about it, because first of all, I'm nervous. I don't know who I'm communicating with. It sometimes drives me crazy, because I believe in the rule called honest and loyalty, and no matter which page you are running, you should be able to talk to people. And there are also amazing pages like this one that I'm interacting with every single day, which are there to spread positive energy, vibes, and fun, which you can see and sense that there are good people, but there are also evil people. Now, what I will sincerely share with you is that whatever intention is out there, it's up to your intelligence level to discover it. For example, recently I have heard an incident that my friend have shared it with me and said that there was a candidate who believed that throughout a communication like this on a lot of Insta pages, He thought that he established a communication with the CEO on the airline, and he thought that he chatted online or on the WhatsApp with the CEO. Now, if we sit down and think a bit, let's check what is the job description of a chief executive operation. Then you might come to a conclusion and say that might not be possible. But if you actually sit down and think that you're talking to the chief executive who has no time to drink water because he has a huge business to run, perhaps he has also a family and loads of other things to do, then you might know the answer of this question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, in this manner, I cannot help you. I cannot tell you this page is right or this page is wrong. But what I can do tell you certainly is to be careful, search, research, and last but not the least, challenge. Especially in some part of the world, I would take the freedom and say countries like in India, this kind of pages are really, really using candidates. And I have seen that in this pandemic, especially in the pandemic time, where we all know that the airlines simply cannot afford new employments because revenues are simply not happening as before. We have so-called self-pronounced institutes that are running and rushing to get candidates, and candidates are rushing to go into institutes hoping that they will get a job without learning and knowing what is the current situation and how COVID-19 has its political and economical implications that I spoke about. So my sincere advice to this is, instead of doing that, find a job, please, because that job will help you overcome these hard times. If you're having, let's say, hard times to get a job, perhaps you need coaching, you need extra coaching. I would always go for extra coaching. I would always go for education. I would never go to pages, to institutes, self-pronounced institutes, because those certificates are not valid. For example, Qatar Airways doesn't work with cabin crew institutes from India or whatsoever. Etihad Airways doesn't work with cabin crew institutes. They are doing their own recruitment, their own openings, and you have something which is called the website of the airline where you want to apply for. Now, when it comes to your skills, I seriously believe in the program called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Program, which can help you straighten the skills that you have and also discover new ones. Last but not least, what I do believe is in work. That is why I work myself in the medical field, in order to straighten my skills and in order to do and gain new skills as well. So therefore, this is my honest advice to you. Think about it, and being a bit skeptical when you get in touch with pages like this can certainly be out of help. Again, research, challenge, and talk publicly about this type of pages. Share opinion with other people. I have a question, but not about Qatar Airways, it's about Lufthansa Airlines. Does they require English? When it comes to the cabin crew for Lufthansa Airlines, ladies and gentlemen, you should know that if you want to be a cabin crew, you should get German residence over here to stay, to get a resident permit to be here. You should be fluent in German, speak, read, and write, and English as well. So when you are having that resident permit, you are living in Germany, you have fluency in both written and spoken English and German, then you might want to apply for them. This is when it comes to the cabin crew role. I've read this non-negotiable rules and regulations on the website of Lufthansa. However, also Lufthansa is not doing recruitment at the moment due to the massive loss that they have due to COVID-19 and the pandemic. And this is my answer to this question. Actually, I wanted to get a tattoo of mine chest. So could I do? Of course you can do a tattoo, nobody is stopping you. However, if you want to be a cabin crew for Qatar Airways, let's say, I cannot tell you do a tattoo and it's gonna be okay, you're gonna get recruited. There's been so many times where I spoke about this, and yes, maybe a small tattoo on a place that's not visible can be tolerated, provided that you have outstanding skills. But who can tell you do you have outstanding skills? I cannot tell you. You even for yourself cannot say that I have outstanding skills and they will accept me with my Chinese tattoo on my back. If you are applying for Emirates Airlines, perhaps they're taking candidates with tattoos which are not visible. So therefore, on this question, you should think, research, and consider a bit more yourself. Tips ain't allowed by company, and Arabs usually get angry while we deny that. Solutions, please. This gentleman works, I remember him, he works as a ground staff in some airports. So in the airlines, Middle Eastern airlines, generally tips are not allowed. And since this is a cultural issues, and Arabic people are do getting angry if they give a tip to the person, my sincere advice to you would be judge the situation yourself. I don't think that every Arabic customer or a passenger will get angry if you don't accept the tip. There is always a way to politely say to the person or to the lady or the gentleman that, you know what, you would love to take this. However, the policy of the airline that you are working for or the airport you're working for doesn't allow that, and that you're very thankful for that. I don't think that the person is going to be angry if you say it. You can say it maybe in a form, if I do accept this, I might even lose my job. We're just simply not allowed to accept it. I would love it, but I cannot. See, when you speak with emotions, you're showing to the person how much you value the jest, how much you are appreciating what the person wants to do, but you just simply cannot do it. Then I don't think that the person would be angry. It's all about how we transfer the message. Show care, show understanding when you're saying, sorry, I would love to, but I cannot. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for staying until the end of this video where we talked about the questions that you have asked me on my Instagram account, xcrew, which is right here. You might even want to follow me there. But before you go out of this video, make sure you have been subscribed, you have hit the notification button because many videos are coming. Bye bye and have a nice day.